September 11th, 2001 is a day that will forever be attached in the hearts of Americans and people around the world. It was a day of immense tragedy and sorrow, one that has changed the fabric of our nation in ways that we could never have imagined. I remember the shock, the disbelief, and the overwhelming sadness that filled the air. Our sense of security was shattered, and life as we knew it would never be the same, although we had not fully comprehended that yet. I often try to tell my kids about what life was like before 9/11. It's really kind of strange to even think about it now, but airports were a place of calm and kind of fun. I used to go to the airport just for fun, treating it like it was another shopping day at the mall. The stores there were different and considered cool when I was in high school. They were places that you couldn't get to when you went to the everyday mall in town. You didn't have to deal with security checkpoint. That wasn't really a big deal back then. And if you were skipping class in high school, not that I did, it was a place that your parents were more than likely not even going to consider. Shh, don't tell my parents. Family members could walk you right up to the gate before you got onto the airplane. It was just simpler times when it came to this. It's sad that my children will never even know this version of the world. But in the midst of the sadness and loss, there is something we have to hold on to. God was not surprised by anything that happened. I know that's hard to hear, but it's true. Yes, it was a devastating and heartbreaking day, but God was still in control. He remains powerful. He has never changed, and in a world that is, well, what seems to be in constant shifting and changing, having a consistent, unchanging God, well, it just brings a lot of security and a lot of safety into our hearts. God is the one consistent that we can trust no matter what's going on around us. Tragedy is hard to understand. I'm right there with you. I have struggled with it so many times. It's difficult to see why God allows certain things to happen, especially when so many lives are affected. But we have to remember that God sees things we cannot. At the end of the day, His ultimate concern is for our souls, not for our physical lives. Jesus reminds us in Scripture, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? Our souls are eternal, and God cares deeply for us in ways we may not fully comprehend right now. As we remember the events of 9/11, let's also hold on to the hope that God is still good. He is still with us. He will never leave nor forsake us. Even when the world changes in unimaginable ways, things happen that we cannot fully comprehend. God's love and grace never fails. It's never changing. He is our refuge and our strength, and in Him we can find peace even in the midst of pain and tragedy. Let God always be the one we find our encouragement in.